um, forum, I watched your forum thing the other day,
Oh,
and what um, you're talking about picks and holding the pick and all. So just sort of reviewing how I held the pick,
okay.
which was um, more. I was more out the front than I was off to the side,
Oh, okay.
which seems to significantly, when I try to be more over there across,
Uh-huh.
if I'm more over there, um, just seems like it's a little looser. I can move better,
Oh, good.
you know,
Yeah.
as opposed to over here. I don't know. Anyway, so I was
Yeah.
working on that, and I don't know if it was in there or something that you mentioned, um, strumming songs. Uh, anyway, somehow I got myself to take it easy. Just focus.
Oh, I would have
I've
played a
never
little
done
of
that.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, I've never done that, and so I did it mostly because I wanted to just work on strumming and getting myself a little more rhythmic and less stiff.
Yeah.
Less, and so I started out doing that.
Hmm.
So
Good.
that's what I've been doing.
One of the things I didn't make this real clear in the video, but I realized when I'm holding a pick, I don't know if you can see this very well. I don't have a pick in my hand right now, but my thumb and I kind of make a hook with my index finger,
Yeah,
and then the thumb goes almost parallel to it, like the thumb and the last joint of the index finger are like right in line, and then the pick is like 90 degrees coming out of that,
yeah,
something like that.
yeah,
Yeah, and then the pick is also kind of jammed into this knuckle a little bit, like the bend right there. I've
yeah,
got the corner of the pick in in that little
yeah,
slot,
yeah, yeah,
and
right
that
there.
really helps it from spinning.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I have a problem with that. So, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Oh,
So,
interesting.
so I have a lot of mass on the pick. Like the pick is touching this whole part of this finger,
Yeah.
and then pretty much the whole flat of the thumb are like all over the pick. Like a lot of people when they grab a pick first, they've got a fingertip and a thumb tip holding it,
Yeah.
and that's like not enough meat on the pick.
Yeah. Yeah. Huh. I don't. I don't know if I can.
It works a little differently for everybody's hand, but that's kind of essentially having it perpendicular to that intersection of the thumb and the index finger.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then else, when I'm strumming down, I have so little of the pick sticking out that this part of my index fingernail brushes the strings lightly too. Like I can feel my finger hit the strings with every down, just a little bit. The
Interesting. So you don't have a. There's not a whole lot of pick
no, very very
sticking out.
little. Yeah, about a third of it at the most is sticking out under my thumb.
Yeah. Under your thumb. Yeah. From that point.
Yeah.
Huh.
But really, one of the big goals is to hold it as loosely as possible to where it almost feels like you're going to drop it.
Yeah.
And that will get you the best tone out of the strings. And that's also how you can use heavier picks and not have it sound like you're playing with a silver dollar. A lot of people when they first try a heavy pick, they play it and it's like, oh, it's scratchy, it's all this noise. But the pick should give a lot when it hits the strings. It should be that loose in your hand that it's deflecting with every impact, I guess.
Both up and down.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it should anyway. So and
Yeah.
that's again why people have trouble and with with it sounding good, or that's why they like thinner picks. The thinner pick does that deflection, and you can hold it tighter.
Ah.
But a heavier pick, you have to hold it looser, and then you get much better tone out of a heavier pick. What happens is you get less. The signal to noise ratio is kind of what it is. When you use a really thin pick, you hear a lot of pick noise, kind of, like a card in your a playing card in your spokes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when you use a thicker pick, you get less pick noise and more string noise, or more of the pitch and stuff.
Oh,
So kind of graduating to starting to work on heavier picks as you get more comfortable holding it looser and looser will get you better tone. Now, so I typically use the blue gauge of a pick, which is like the second heaviest if I'm strumming. And if I'm playing just leads, I go a notch up and I go with the purple picks for the heaviest one I can find, for hitting one note at a time to get better tone out of the notes and a little more volume, to cut through, whatever
yeah,
else is around.
yeah. But does the thickness affect your accuracy? Are you more accurate when you go to that?
I think you're more accurate with heavier ones because again, there's less. The pick displaces
Time.
less. You know, when you yeah. So, but anyway, it's and what brought up this whole pick thing was a guy put a post up on the forum about Tina's Pick Palace or someplace like that. That then and he really wanted comments on it. And I didn't even bother to look because I did bother to look after I posted last week. And this just goes into these exotic, stupid things that people have put together, for one thing or another. And so it's more like a pick museum of ideas that didn't catch on. It might be a pick that was that had three pick points, and they were all different gauges. So anyhow, it just seemed like overkill to me. It seems like you have a lot bigger fish to fry than than using than
Yeah.
anyhow. So okay, so what did you find? What tell me about Take It Easy. What did you find interesting in that? Or
Well, a couple of things. Um, the progression. Once I started fiddling around with it, it just makes so much sense because it's so directly linked to the words of the song. And maybe that's because I just you know it so well and
right?
all. So that was interesting. The most interesting thing was the sound. Um, I don't know if the word syncopated is right, but in the intro, where you're coming in with the up on the end of four, which makes that makes it so distinctive
Yeah.
at all, and trying to count through that to uh, to hit those right on the chord changes. That
Had
was
you had it ever occurred to you that something was unusual about the beginning of that song? Like when you hear it on the radio, you start tapping where you think the beats are, and then you're not with them when they start singing.
no, it had never. I don't. That had never occurred to me. I just the intro was the intro, and it seemed like uh, it was so unique unto itself that I never even
Yeah,
thought about it as well. It's just really, um,
it's all on the wrong beats,
yeah,
is
yeah,
what it
and
is. And
yeah, yeah.
so, if anybody, including the Eagles, was going to play that live, when they played it live, they never did that upside down introduction.
Oh,
I don't
really?
think. You know what? I can't vouch for that for sure. But like the normal way to do that song is just start with. I mean, this is basically the normal strum that we use all the time. Down, down, up, up. It's got that exact sound, right? And so if they were to just start this, you'd hear it start. Well, I'm running down the road. Totally normal, right? But it takes a lot of practice to do that strum upside down. What is it? Yeah, God, I'm even getting messed up now doing it. But so you have to start with an up, and you get the exact same sound. There it is upside down. But if you weren't watching me do that, you wouldn't be able to tell that was
Huh.
so
Well, I guess I interpreted it differently, actually.
okay.
Okay, so I interpreted it as that the initial up occurs on the and of four, or the and of four, the measure that's not there
Right.
in the intro. And so if I was counting that out and I was gonna play it, and I would what I would do is I would say one, two, three, four. That's what I
Yeah.
did.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so I didn't turn the rest of it mentally. I wasn't turning the rest of it upside down. All I was doing was I was starting on the end of
Right.
four,
Right.
and then trying to strum it in the same manner,
Yeah.
down, 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 down. And then when I got to the last part, or the two measures of G, just switch back to
Right.
right.
Yeah. So So that's basically what happens there.
Yeah.
But they never actually hit the down on one. The down on one is always missing. So
Okay.
um,
Okay.
let me think about that. Right, and so it'd be like and 1, 2, 3, 4. And the tendency is to want to still put that one in there. 1, 2, 3, 4. And really make it clear where beat one is. And
Yeah.
that's what's completely unclear the way they play it. You never hear anything on beat one. And so you start thinking that this was beat one. The first thing you heard
Oh, okay.
was
Okay.
beat one.
I got
And
it.
next time you listen to this, go back and listen to their thing, and you'll find yourself tapping with what turn. So as kind of an experiment, do what I'm recommending here. So go listen to the beginning of the song and start tapping with them. And when the drums come in and the vocals come in, you'll find that you're upside down.
Okay.
That these are the beats, not these.
Yeah. Yeah.
There are a lot of songs like that have. The main other song that pops into my head that has that you get lost in the beginning is Stephen Stills' "Love the One You're With." Um, the way he phrases the first vocal line is completely out of step. It makes you feel like the beats are not where he thinks they are, and it's not till the second line that you kind of click in and realize, oh, here's what it is. The first line he sings, "If you're down," you're going to feel that down like it's beat one. If you're down and confused and you don't remember, this is going to be completely off because that down was not beat one. It was beat 4. So it's 1, 2. If you're down and confused, and finally here, and you don't remember. It's not till remember that the same accent, that the wordy accents falls on beat 1, or it might be the line before. But anyway, so these things intrigue me like my whole life, because when I hear them, it's like they either screwed that up or something's wrong with it, or they did something I would tell a student to never do. It's like, this is terrible. Another song that has terrible timing in it is Eric Clapton, Cream's "Crossroads." If you start like tapping and trying to sing along with him, there are spots in there where you feel like they have totally screwed this up. And I many years after the fact, read an interview with Clapton, and he admitted the whole thing. He said, "God, I totally screwed up those vocals. They were all like out of time. They were all in the wrong places in many of the verses." So anyway, if you have time to waste, next time you're goofing around at YouTube, check out "Crossroads," the Cream original. See, because that was done live, and They just, back in those days, 1964, 65,
Yeah.
we're not about to listen back to it and say, holy cow,
Yeah.
that is terrible. And stills, love the one you're with.
And love the one. Okay.
And then take it easy. So all three of those, see if you can figure out what I'm talking about, how they're messed up.
Okay. So over time, though, because that's how what we're used to hearing
Yeah,
sort of becomes right um, for that song.
yeah,
It's not for that song. That's what it is.
yeah.
I suppose if you heard it right, well, maybe. So in this, then, if you miss the first down, if you miss the down on one, does that put it into, let's see, one, two, three, four, one. No, I missed.
Ah,
Okay, one, two, three, four. Oh, one, two, I missed it. Yeah. Anyway,
okay.
you see what
So
I'm trying to do.
yeah, yeah. So I could be wrong on this, but here's my recollection of how I interpreted that whole mess of the introduction to this.
Okay.
It sounds like our normal folk strum: down, down, up, down, up.
Yep.
Okay, but it's exactly upside down, which means every up in there is a down. So instead of down, down, up as our beginning, it's up, up, down.
Okay.
And that down is on beat 2 because the first up is on the and of 4. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we have 3 more strokes in our normal folk strum. We have down, down, up, and then the next one is up, down, up.
Right.
And then that leads right into the beginning down of the next measure.
Right.
So it has exactly that sound. So I don't know if you can see that, but that's that upside down. It's got the exact same sound, but it's upside down. I'm going up, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down. And that first up feels like it's beat 1.
Yeah.
But beat 1 is actually in the gap between those 2 ups. What else? So sometimes the way to like get this, like to tap this and get this right, is tap where you feel the beats are, and do it like with a down and an up, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, and then start feeling the ups, da, da, da. And if you start tapping on the ups, when they start singing, those will be the beats. They'll be right on what you're thinking. Those were the ups. Those weren't the beats. So anyway, this is just sort of this becomes a math puzzle, and kind of a rhythmic puzzle that is fascinating,
Yeah.
and most anyway, most
So
people it escapes.
when you're in the body of the song, after you move through the thing,
Then it's totally normal.
then it's totally normal. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So just the intro's upside down, but then you come to that. I don't know how to play it, but it sounds like. You come to that where they
Yeah.
a little. Okay.
Yeah.
That's the 2 bars of G.
Right.
Right? Okay, that's back to normal, as it were?
I don't remember. Let's listen to this. Let me pause the recording here.
Oh, 2, 3, 4, 2, 4. Then I'm
Yeah.
at 1.
So that would be measure 9 of the
Measure
intro.
9. Yeah.
Yeah. So measure 9, you hit the down on 1.
I hit the down on 1.
And you haven't done that in any other measure.
No.
That's
Okay.
the breakdown there.
All right. So okay. So that's the way I can play it that way per se,
Yeah.
and I'll end up in measure nine. I'll end up using one as the okay, and that's that little solo lick, and then it just goes into the verse.
Yeah. Let me see if I can do that for you kind of slowly with
Okay.
just four measures instead of eight. Four measures, all that start with that have an and of four played and nothing on one.
Yeah.
And then the fifth measure, fifth and sixth measures, I'll square it back up. So it'd be this 2, 3, 4.
Yep.
Make sense?
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. I totally get that.
So that's what's going on in that. And it helps to be able to see my hand when I'm doing that because then you know that those ups, those accents are not, you're not going to tap there.
Right.
Yeah.
And when you play the C with G in the bass in the intro, when you play that, um, what's going on with the A string?
Oh, um, your fingers are too long. You're supposed to be killing that string with your sloppy third finger.
Okay.
So your third finger has to be touching the fifth string.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So just pull your hand down a little bit, down this way a little, so that you're muting it with the pad of your third finger.
Right. Because I don't want that A.
Right,
I don't want that A in there.
right.
And then
Now on that chord, we pretty much want D in the bass. I mean, we're hearing that as a D chord. Yeah, yeah. So you're really aiming for. But if you get the A on that, it's not too big a deal. If you
okay.
get the open fifth string is not a problem there because this is a D chord.
Yeah.
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 And what chord is that? What do we call this chord?
This is D7. D7, and we're up suspended.
Yeah. And so
Four.
yeah, perfect. D7 sus4.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, sus4. That's
Yeah. So when we go with suspended, we want to be specific about whether it's sus4 or what else could it be?
sus2.
Not quite. Sus2 is right, but it wouldn't be that.
Oh, it'd be that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, with the open E in there, right?
Yeah. Okay.
And if you had that note flattened out like you did a second ago, what chord is that?
Um, it's not sus4. That's going to be flatted third. So B minor 7.
Yeah, that's good. I was just about to say I'm seeing you overthink this. This is looking dangerous. But that was good. As soon as as soon as you realize it was a flatted third, it's like, oh, that only makes it minor. It's nothing exotic.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good. Way to go.
Okay. So I think take it easy. Okay. The rest of this is
Now it's just a normal campfire song.
yeah, it's a campfire song. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's fun. I'll just gonna add that in. So
So, so since we brought up the Eagles, have we talked about Tequila Sunrise before? I'm sure we have for one reason or another, or I'm guessing we have.
probably
There's an unusual strumming thing in that one too,
okay.
and what it is it has one beat of double time strumming, where you go twice as fast, maybe two beats, but it's basically a campfire tune too. It's another tequila sun D. Staring slowly, A minor, the sky. D7, said goodbye. Just a regular D7. Just D7.
Oh,
No, D7. Think. Wait. That's sus2. We just talked about so many D chords. There you go. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Overthinking.
Okay. Button. That's the introduction to Tequila Sunrise. I'll do that slower.
It's a G with
It's just a normal G,
yeah.
and then there's a hammer on the E on the D string. If I did it with just the normal strum, it would just be this. Hammering on from D to E from on the up of beat of 2. 1, 2, and hammer on to 3, and don't hit 3. So it's just a normal folk strum with a hammer on in the gap on 3. No, you're hitting it too early. Hammer it on later. You're putting it down on the up. It's hammered on after the up.
Oh.
Yeah. And now what's happening? Try it again. Try it again. Yeah. You're hesitating here when you do the hammer on. The hammer on happens during the missing down in the strum. So you're kind of doing this, and now you're stuck up here. So you froze. Don't let your right hand freeze when you do that hammer on.
Okay.
Yeah, and then catch the up. Yeah, that's it. Almost. After the hammer on, you need the next up. There you go. Yeah. Yeah. Then it has another more complicated element. I mean, that might seem complicated enough, but the other complicated element is that instead of just this, down, down, up, that second down is done double time so that it's a down and an up, and the spot where the up is before the hammer on is another down. So I go twice as fast for a quick down up on what had. So that's what we call double time strumming. That's the speed of 16th notes now.
Okay.
For 1/8 notes worth.
For one.
So it's down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up. Forget the hammer on. Don't try to do the hammer on at the same time yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Almost. That was great. Yeah.
I got upside down.
You did.
Yeah.
Here's what happened. After you do the quick down up, you stop, you slow down, and the next stroke's an up, not a down.
Okay.
Yeah. Perfect. Oh, close. That was really close. But you can see you froze again when you did the hammer on.
Yeah.
Right. So that was, yeah. That was so anyway. That's another little challenging thing that the Eagles use in that song.
Okay. So the double time is the down of 2.
Yeah. When we break quarter notes into eighth notes, we use the and to mark that midpoint of a beat.
Yeah.
Now we're breaking the quarter note into sixteenths.
Yep.
At least 1/8 note's worth of it we're splitting into sixteenths.
Yep.
And so we number those. I'm not sure if we ever talked about this, but so the terms we use to label the 4 beats in a sixteenth, we still use the number for 1 because that's where the beat is. We use the and for the third one because that's where the eighth note is. So it's 1 E and a.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So in this case, if I do that slowly, without the double time, it's 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 2, and 3, and 4, and. In this case, we're taking that 2 and doing 1, 2, and 1, 2, and and then we still come in with the. Wait a minute, is that right? No. No, I'm saying that wrong. Why am I messing that up? I'm getting distracted here. Okay, let me come back to that later. But
Okay.
I think you got the feel for what we're looking at there.
Yeah, I got the feel for that, and then and working in the hammer-on then with that is let's see, it felt like it was
Yeah, it's right there.
right. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
nothing to it.
The rest of his campfire-ish.
Same thing. It's just strumming through the chords. The chord progression is really interesting because it has a different. It doesn't have like a verse and a chorus. It doesn't. It's more of what we call a refrain song. There isn't like a chorus that ever comes back. It just mentions the word Tequila Sunrise in like 3 different verses.
Yeah.
And then there are 2 other sections. So we got this, right? It's another tequila sun. This would be a verse. Staring slowly across the sky. A minor to D7. G said goodbye. Then all it repeats. G. He was just a deep in hand. Working on the dreams. A minor playing to try. To D7. The days G. Now the first bridge is E minors and C's. Every night when the sun goes down. Again. Just another lonely boy in town. Now A minor. She's out D7. Back to another verse that just has different lyrics. Then there's a solo that is just a lead played over a verse. Then there's a second bridge, and in this case, the term bridge is meaning, a part that only happens once, and has a different chord progression and a different melody than everything else.
Yeah.
Second bridge is this A minor part. Take another shot of courage, B minor to E. Wonder why the ride. A minor, B7, E minor, just getting on. A. And and then we're back into the last verse. So
Okay.
it's an interesting arrangement of things. There's a verse, and then there are two bridges that happen later.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to pull that out. So, Tequila Sunrise must be a Glenn Fry song then. Is it?
Yeah. It must be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. All
And
right.
of course, Take It Easy is Jackson Brown, but with Glenn Fry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, he filled in the lyrics. He came up with the Winslow line, and Jackson was about to like give up on the song. Yeah, so Fry came up with that the opening to the second verse, standing on a corner in Winslow, Arizona, and that so he really didn't have much to do with the song, but he basically put the final nail in the coffin on it for as far as Jackson was concerned.
Winslow, Arizona. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I, like many other people, have driven through Winslow, Arizona to the corner where Winslow people have you been there?
No, I haven't, but
Oh, okay. Well, in Winslow, Arizona, which is just used to be Route 66. Well, it
right.
still is. And but people are on the 10 over here now. They're
Yeah.
not driving through Winslow unless you try to drive through Winslow.
Right.
And on that corner in Winslow, Arizona, they have a red part perpendicular right at the corner, a red Ford, well, like a flatbed
Oh
truck,
yeah.
flatbed truck, yeah. And there's a woman in it, a mannequin. It's very nicely done, actually.
Yeah.
And there, and it's sitting. The corner is a little plaza, and there's a little sort of not statue is the wrong word, a little monument to the song there. And so
Yeah.
they make it very easy for you to take a picture
Yeah.
as you're driving down the street in Winslow, Arizona, playing
Yeah.
it on your radio. You can capture the whole moment, which is
Yeah, and I'm sure the city council is very thankful that somebody did that. I mean, gave them an excuse to get off the highway and it's such a famous
absolutely.
song.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, all along Route 66 is like it's ghost towns
yeah,
since I-10's been there. So anyway, fun.
yeah.
Okay,
Okay, all good for next week.
thanks, Neil. Yep, good for next week. Next